Okay, great. So before we start with the presentation, just a few introduction sentences. I'm really glad that I'm talking after Veronica. Why is that? Because we are doing a complementary type of services comparing to the Cloudflare. Right away, I have to say that I'm the user of the Cloudflare and I was impressed since the very beginning of the Cloudflare. Still, where is our focus is on the specific environments and the services which are not global one in the sense that there's not standard services placed in the standard locations and based on the standard protocols. I will explain that during the presentation. And usually we are focused on the government sector and also some specific corporations sector on that one. Recently, we were in the, I don't know if some of you attended the Barcelona World Conference. It was a mobile world conference that was happening in the previous week on that one. And the rising IoT challenges that are happening are definitely increasing the interest for that kind of solution that we are offering on that part. So therefore, my presentation today will not be focused on the sales program and the partnership benefits. So of course, we can discuss about that one, but also to share with you the innovations we have specific for the IoT specific devices and the challenges they are facing on that part. So let me start with this part. So just as introduction for you to understand that the challenge, there was a recent report from Nokia that was talking about increasing a fivefold number of the nodes and also the attacks on that are happening against the specific IoT network. Why is that? Because of course the IoT devices are rising their presence on the network, but also these IoT devices cannot afford to have their own WAFs doing the protection or any kind of advanced protection tools. So they're small devices mostly with simple interfaces and spread all across the network. And this is where the challenge is. Challenge is not only about protecting these devices, but also it's about these devices that can perform the attacks against third parties. So one of the recent scenarios that were happening was so-called Ripple 20. They have done the collection of 19 different vulnerabilities. Then they searched around on the internet and they have affected hundreds of millions of different devices. These devices were different kind of printers, then pumps, and then ICSs, and so on. And anyway, they were used all these devices then to perform the attacks many different services and facilities across the globe on that one. So where is our focus on this one is to be able to protect even those small kind of devices and also to protect against so-called unknown type of attacks, meaning zero-day attacks that has not been seen anywhere on that one. We have proven this when it was the Log4j zero-day attack. Some ministries or in some governments that were using our solution were protected even without them or us knowing that that is a zero-day attack. But anyway, let's go now further on for you just to get a feeling about how it works and what it is about. So the major components that are building this kind of flexible protection, and again, based on the IoT specific environments and the government specific environments, is the first part is so-called adaptive AI. Adaptive AI is a terminology being defined by the Gartner recently, and it's about not the standard AI in the sense that you will have to train the AI module with a specific knowledge, and then it will be able to apply, because there is a problem of so-called catastrophic forgetting, meaning that if you train for specific data and there is something new that has happened and you have to additionally train with new data, there is a big challenge and you cannot do it just like that using the standard methods on that one. So you have to do the full retraining from the very scratch. And if it is a lot of amount of data, that it will take a lot of time and resources. So what we have done is so-called adaptive AI, meaning that the AI solution is continuously adding the new knowledge. And also what is very important, it is adapting to a specific customer web service on that one. So it is not a unique knowledge which is being shared, but it is specific to that customer, while also we are collecting the threats information from all across the world and from third parties. So this is the first component, building component of that one. Second one is about the IoT embed traps. So although these are usually very small devices with very small CPUs, we have developed solution, and it is AI relevant solution and also the deception solution, which can be embedded inside any kind of IoT device that has even ARM processor on that one. So it does not have a large memory footprint. It does not require high-level CPU usage. We have done, by the way, for your information, many specific small boards being applied to different kind of devices on that one. Tailored threat intelligence is the next building component, because if you purchase any kind of threat intelligence from the global providers, usually they are providing that based on their sensors that are across the world, but these sensors are not focused on your specific services and your specific environment on all that part. If you are keen to understand the specific against your country or your specific organization, then it will be a challenge how to distinguish the threat intelligence data that is being provided by these international providers. So what we are doing is a so-called tailored threat intelligence, meaning that we are gathering a device or service specific data, and using the real-time threat feeds, we are empowering both the IoT, but also it can be applied to the regular IT systems for the purpose of prevention of any kind of similar kind of attacks on that one. And the last part is, of course, regarding the kernel firewall level protection, meaning that you don't need additional devices and assets for the protection of these small devices, no matter where they are placed. We are embedding the protection at the kernel level, meaning there is no additional any hardware, neither the software outside of the device itself that can be that should be pardon used for the protection on that one. Gartner also recently, it was this year, that has published about the adaptive strategy building blocks. On that one, we have done an evaluation of that one, and we are glad to say that all these specific aspects that they have highlighted as challenging parts for the following few years has been already addressed on that one. So I will focus just on a few of them for you to get an understanding about what it is about. Real-time insights is just about our real-time processing of the data and then applying this knowledge in real time to the specific customer services on that one. So when we say about real time, just for information, we're processing any kind of data in less than 10 milliseconds, and then it is being used for the prevention purpose. Also, it's about the continual process, meaning it's continuously improving itself. And also, I would then highlight on the last third part is crowdsourcing, as we have a lot of different kind of traps being spread across the world. You will see some results of this kind of strategy. Using the crowdsourcing, we are collecting all this information at a single place, building the knowledge, and then we apply that knowledge to all these specific devices and services being used by our customers. So the core of the technology is in so-called adaptive AI, or from the mathematics perspective, they usually call it incremental learning, meaning being capable of continuously learning new things without forgetting the initial knowledge on that one. And we have published the science paper at Springer. It is one of the most famous science journals in the world regarding the AI. And we have proven that we can achieve precision rate even above 99.9%. So that one, if someone is interested, we can send the science paper link so you can take a look on that one. What we did not publish in that science paper is that how we have done it for the very small ARM processors, that it is working as well, meaning it's not memory and it's not CPU intensive. So now, just for you to understand the process, how we do it on that one. So the first thing is we create a clones of the IoT devices. The method we are doing is patent pending in the US, so it is a unique one being done, and it is being done almost automatically. So 90% of the job is being done automatically based on the tools that we have developed and the mathematical model behind on that one. And then if there are some specific things for these services or devices to be cloned, then we can add on based on our security expertise on that one. So for today's presentation, you will see some results based on the cloning and exposure of these IoT devices that you can see here right now. So the first one is a typical IoT edge appliance Cisco device, usually being used on the networks as a gateway. Then it's about the carrier firewall that we were testing as well. Then it was about some IP cameras, the Schneider device, top C IP camera. Top C is interesting. Why is that? Because it's not a final device. It's just a small board being used for the IP cameras, meaning that there is different kind of implementation. Still, it was possible to create the clone and to do the job. And also it was about one IoT network printer being applied on that one. So as we said, the first is about cloning of those devices, then we expose it. So what we do is we are making a fake user interfaces based on the cloning. And the purpose of these user interfaces is that we expose it to internet at specific customer premises and customer owned IPs on that one. And then we are waiting to see who is trying to access and how do they try to access. Based on the type of the device and type of the services, we can even implement a few different levels of the attack detection. In the sense, for example, the first level will be a simple and easy for the attacker that do not have a high level of the knowledge, which will be just doing the basic scanning and then a basic interaction with the trap. The second one is when they are trying advanced kind of attack vectors in the sense of trying to penetrate inside using the either authentication or some vulnerabilities. And the third one is, for example, we will place a fake leaked credentials, so they can, if they use those dark web information, they can be able to go to the next level of the interaction with the trap on that one. Anyway, what is interesting and important information is that when we place that kind of thing, usually the best proof that this is a deceptive thing, let me show you the practical information, is that it is even the professional scanners that are doing continuous scan on that one cannot distinguish that it is a trap from the real device. And here you can see an example of one of these traps being recognized by Shodan. I assume that you know what is a Shodan. It's a public scanner with commercial results. And it is publishing the information about the scanning, vulnerability scanning on that one. And this is one of our customers where you can see that the Shodan has discovered some specific ports being open. It has detected different kind of vulnerabilities. In fact, these vulnerabilities are the fake vulnerabilities, so it's not the real one. We have placed this one. And also you can see some specific vendor identification on that one based on the clone, meaning there is no information about the potential honeypot. So even the professional scanners cannot distinguish the clone from the real device. And also they find the fake information talking about some vulnerabilities existing on that part. So now just for you to get the feeling about how many attacks are happening on that one, now I will share the information with you about our real-time system ongoing, just for you to get the feeling about the number of attacks happening. Of course, the level of attacks comparing to the Cloudflare is much lower because these are targeted attacks happening against the specific customers of ours, but still you can get the information about number of attacks happening every few seconds on that one, and also from diversity of the countries it is coming. It's very important that all these attacks are not general attacks, but focused on a specific device or a specific service being performed on that part. Let me go backward to the presentation so you can see that the real statistics about the attacks information that we have been collecting on that one. So what is, again, the final benefit of that one is that we gather all the attacks data in real time. When I say the attacks data, this is not about these malicious IPs performing the attack, but it's also about the specific attack vectors they are using, talking about the payloads, talking about the specific URL requests, whatever, for example, credentials as well, whatever is specific to that service that we are protecting. We are gathering, and based on that one, we can do the prevention on that one. And again, prevention is real time. Just for you to get a feeling about how it looks like. These are the statistics about all the data being gathered during the 30 days exposure of these devices. And you can see this is, by the way, the logarithmic scale diagram. You can see around 500,000 attacks against the IP cameras module, and 22,000 were advanced attacks. And further on, for other devices, you can see similar number of attacks. What is important is to distinguish a regular attack from the advanced. Whenever this is a pure single or multiple attack vectors which are already known, it will be a single attack. But if it is some in some kind of a specific attack, either focused to a specific device or a country or corporation, anything new and specific being done, then it's advanced type of attacks. So let's take a look exactly what kind of attacks being done. As I have mentioned that how we detect these kind of advanced attacks, we are doing the real-time correlation, which is being done usually in few milliseconds on that part, and we can implement any kind of logic for the correlation and for the identification of advanced attacks. Just for you to get a feeling about that one, I will start from the bottom, country-specific target attacks. So what we are looking at is when we see a malicious IP performing the attack attempts, we are checking also in other countries if it has been seen or not been seen in the last few days performing the attack or not. Then URL request never seen before, we are tracing all the kind of attack vectors relevant to the URLs. And if there is a new one that has not been seen before, then we are raising this kind of alarm as well. Then it's about the attacker with IP unknown to third-party threat intelligence. We are exchanging the threat intelligence information with some other threat intelligence providers, both from the east and from the west. When I say from the east and the west, just to be clear, pardon, on that part, we are exchanging some information from the US companies, but also we are exchanging information with some Chinese companies. And then for each of these attackers, we are checking if they has been seen as malicious either from the eastern companies or the western one. And if it is not, then definitely it is a very important attacker that we should take a look at, because these guys is targeting only a specific corporation or a country. That one. The same thing applies about the payload in the sense of never seen before. But what might be interesting for you is probably the continuous attack from the same C segment IP. That one is interesting. Why is that? Because the very advanced attackers, what they are doing is for the purpose of avoiding any kind of either typical WAF or IPS, IDS prevention related to the IP. They are changing their IP continuously after just a few requests on that one. Using this one, by blocking an IP, you will not achieve anything on that one. As you can see, during the 1 month period, there were 5 these kind of attacks, changing their IPs continuously for every attack attempt on that one. The second interesting type of attack is probably a human attack detection. One of the objectives that we have from some government organizations asking us, they are willing to understand if it is about some just compromised host doing the regular vulnerability scans around, or it might be really the person or a hacker focused on a specific corporation organization, and there is a human behind doing very specific kind of attacks. So what we are doing is we are measuring a time between the continuous attacks. And if it is a tool, more or less, this so-called standard deviation will be very small on that one. While if they are changing the attack tools being used, or they're making any kind of pausing for the purpose of analyzing or whatever, then the time deviation will be a much higher, which is increasing us probability that there is a human behind. And with additional steps of checking, then we can definitely go for the conclusion that it is a human behind that was performing the attack. And then, of course, we can go with some additional countermeasures on that part. But anyway, I think you get the point about the benefits of real-time correlation for the purpose of addressing the advanced type of attacks. So again, it's nice. It's also about the detection, but question is, okay, then it means that we should have a SOC and maybe React, and we have to have expertise in our team to be able to address that. No, it's not like that. So what is important is that based on the adaptive AI, the model is continuously learning and improving itself on that one. And based on that one, it will, for every access attempt, it will make a decision if some access should be responded to, or it can be response should be deceptive in the sense of confusing the attacker on that one. So we have done this kind of tool against, with many advanced type of the attackers doing the exploit development and so on, to make sure that they cannot distinguish if there is a deception or not, and they can make the conclusion about that one. And of course, the last and the most important benefit is that as we are sharing this information with all of our customers and in real time, and it's about huge amount of data being shared, we are achieving so-called crowd immunity, meaning that if any one of these devices or the services has been attacked, immediately everyone gets the information and then everyone is safe from that kind of attack as well as that specific attack. Just for you to measure the benefits of that one. Now, this is not about the IoT devices. This is about some international corporation, which is using, by the way, third-party threat intelligence and paying a huge amount of money for that one. They have facilities in different countries. This is in one of these countries, the percentage of the malicious connections being blocked based on our specific threat feeds, comparing to the commercial. They're using two commercial threat intelligence feeds that they are paying for. So you can see the benefits of using a so-called tailored threat intelligence data applied to a specific organization on that part. And to summarize all the things, all the benefits that can be highlighted for that kind of approach, meaning when you have a specific devices and services to be protected, then also you have the wide network with not with a flexible IPs being applied, for example, talking about the IoT devices, talking about, for example, the track fleets being applied, or any kind of customer services being used. Definitely, the first one is unmatched accuracy being achieved by the adaptive machine learning. On that one, we have proven that in the science paper as well as in the real-time practice pattern. Then it's about proactive defense. So you will be preventing the things that has not even happened to you just based on the information being gathered on that one. Community power, meaning collective or crowd immunity across the network being shared on that one. And extremely for the IoT devices, lightweight and efficient type of the protection without any kind of additional devices, additional infrastructure on that one. And the benefit is that as long as there are changes in the attack vectors and the methods of that one, you don't have to do any kind of additional steps, no additional signatures or changes on that one. We will be learning the new data and we'll be adapting constantly, staying ahead of these continuously changing data. So with this slide, I will finish my presentation and I will highlight maybe the last few things that might be interesting for you if you are applying for any kind of RFPs, as our solution has some patented components on that one. Definitely with some requirements, we can guarantee you that no one can apply for that these RFPs. And another thing that might be interesting for you, as usually we are dealing with the government relevant partners and the national level security, we are offering a white labeling model, meaning that you can present your solution under any brand and we will give you the technology and the knowledge behind.